Hello, this is a timeless channeled message meant to find you whenever this finds you. So the tarot cards we have for this reading are Seven of Wands, Four of Wands, and Page of Wands. Okay. I'm seeing some type of celebration for something that you've been fighting for. Like, something that you've desired. It looks like it was something that, against odds or against people telling you no, you still persisted and you went out and did it anyways. And it looks like some type of celebration, or it opens up a new doorway for you. With that Seven of Wands, I see that this is like an ideal that you've had to protect and something that you've been cultivating. This looks like something that you genuinely care for. It could be a business, it could be some type of art, it could be some type of hobby, but with that Page of Wands here as well, something about the way that they're both holding this wand, it feels so loving or so caring. Like it's something that you really care for, something that you want to find success with. So let's take the example if you are a performer or you're in a field that is competitive. Even though there's other people out there who have a similar product to you or who are in the same, say, performance art or performance space as you, this is your art. The wand here represents your take on it. There's something about what you're doing and what your take on it is that is quite unique or quite individual against what anyone else is seeing. And I feel like you're attracting your tribe, or you're attracting the people who are wanting to support you in all of this. Okay, it does feel like you had to, the word I want to use is fight, like you really had to push or just keep going even though people around you might have said no. I feel like you really had to fight for your own space, and right now it's like you're starting to be recognized for this. Like, people are giving you that space after how long or however your journey was. It feels like it is earned, like a cathartic, finally I've at least broken in, or I finally made it. Let's take, for example, you're a performer, like a singer, constantly doing open mics. I see this as you didn't do enough open mics where people now understand, or like you've developed a reputation now for people to recognize you and to see you, and people are now asking you if you're available for certain opportunities because you have consistent effort, you have a consistent product, a consistent thing that you can show. So now this is you starting to get the payoff for that. So I use the example of being a singer in an open mic, but this can apply to lots of different types of situations. But again, the important thing is that you consistently fought for this, and now people are starting to see what it's worth. I feel like it's the thing that I'm seeing is like a pie chart, or like this graph where it goes up exponentially. Almost like okay, in the Page of Wands, the mountains in the background are what is being showcased to me, and that's the direction that page is looking towards. So it's this mountain that you're going to climb, or this exponential rise in recognition for what you're doing because of your own unique flavor, your own unique brand. So let's get some clarifications for these cards. Spirit, can you clarify the Seven of Wands for us? Why is the Seven of Wands here? Ooh, I heard, what are you fighting for? I think that one of the reasons why this stands out is because there's some type of clear intention that is clear to you, even if other people don't understand it or they don't recognize it. Your tribe will see it and they will recognize that fight, the bite that you have. It's like you don't necessarily even need to be fighting for someone else. You can just be fighting for yourself or a past version of you. And I think people can see that. Like if you're fighting for your inner child or fighting for a wounded self, fighting for, I guess, I don't know, it just feels like a noble pursuit or noble cause. And people really see that and people resonate with that. All right, so the Seven of Wands that we have, or to clarify the Seven of Wands, we have Ace of Wands, Seven of Cups, and the Lovers. I heard channeled from source, like whatever this thing that you're doing, it feels more along the lines of a passion project, but it feels, quite frankly, it feels like you channeled this from source, like you channeled this from something higher, like the realms of imagination. It started out as just an idea or a thought. This could have been something that's inspired by what you've been through, but I do see this actually as like you took inspired action to act upon this thing. You took inspired action to cultivate it into what it is right now. And it does feel like you're being rewarded for this. Like you're still in a state of flux. So to be clear, if you decided to give up on this right now, you theoretically could, and then that would be it, the end of the story. But with the Ace of Wands here, I see that this is something that has great importance to you, and it doesn't matter if it isn't important to anyone else because you're the one who feels it strongly, or you're the channel for this. So this is something for you to bear, something for you to really hold and idealize. With the Seven of Cups, the way that I'm seeing this is like alternative timelines. I see like the memory of a past self, and I feel like inspiration is being drawn from there. But I do feel like you're seeing the multiple futures and you're navigating them. You're deciding what is the ideal timeline for you, and there is dedicated action, something that you're actively doing in order to make it real. Okay, the way that I'm seeing this is in the Garden of, like, this is clearly a reference to the Garden of Eden about Eve being quote unquote deceived to bite the fruit. But realistically speaking, this is about the idea of free will or choice. You do have a lot of free will regarding this situation and how it will shape, because I feel like it rests solely on you to decide how you're going to be doing this. It feels like no one else has done what you're doing before exactly the way that you're doing it. Where again, there's other people in your field, or there are people who are doing similar things, but for some reason your take on it feels very unique, individual, and it's something for you to cultivate, something for you to decide upon. Something about the decision here, not just to do it, but how you're going to do it. It feels quite important, and it feels like there's a sense of style, a sense of flair that is involved. So, yeah, we're going to move on to the next card. So, Spirit, can you tell me more about the Four of Wands? Why is the Four of Wands here? Okay, that was weird. Internally, I heard you give people clothes. Okay, so I don't think that this is you literally giving someone clothes, but it's like you're giving them an aesthetic, or you're giving them like a sense of taste, a sense of style. It's just, the image I got was like the lovers, because the man and woman here are both naked. And then all of a sudden in the Four of Wands, there's two people here that are clothed. It's like something that you're doing is inspiring other people in some way that maybe you might not even be consciously aware of, but you're like adding to a culture or inspiring other people, especially in a sense of taste or aesthetic. Okay, so the cards that we have to clarify the Four of Wands are Knight of Cups, Ace of Swords, and Six of Pentacles. Look at that. That's you giving something out. Clothes. Okay. So the thing I'm hearing is intentionally showing up for your people. So I see you as this Knight of Cups. You're like quenching people's thirst for something. Specifically, like you have this idea and you're now implementing it or going out to do it. And people are so refreshed by what you're doing that it inspires them to celebrate life again, or it inspires them to go out and do their own thing. Okay, when I look at this, there's something very intentional about how you're doing this, but also it's weird because it feels intentional and also from the heart. Like you're approaching this from a heart space, and it feels like people can see that. People really see your authentic heart and the choices that you make that lead up to where you are now, how you decide to go about something. Because it's so heart-led, people really resonate with that and they can feel your authenticity. Even though it's deliberate, like you plan this out, it still feels, the word I want to use is like accidentally on purpose, or it just feels so natural to you because this is just who you are. There's something very pure about this with that Ace of Swords. You're resonating at a certain frequency that people are people are willing to receive, especially those who the word I want to use is like who have the same wound as you, who have the same darkness as you. I feel like you've mastered a certain aspect of your darkness, and that's perhaps why you're fighting so hard for this. And because you naturally reverberate this type of energy, it's like it heals it. It's like it helps people become stable with it. Not that it's something to throw away, like whatever this darkness, whatever this lack feels like, this void. It's more like you're able to help them cope with it, or able to help them feel whole even with this figurative hole inside of them. Like, to be clear, like it almost feels like a healer type of energy, but healing through art, healing through expression. All right, so let's move on with that last card. Spirit, can you show me the Page of Wands? Why is the Page of Wands here? I heard transforming fire. Whoa. That seems intense. Okay, like something about your spirit, your energy, it's like once they pass by you or pass by what it is you're fighting for, whatever this presentation is, it's like, to people who don't understand it, they don't get it, they'll just pass it by. For the people who really get it, it's like they really, really get it, and they can't just go back to the way they were before. They can't just go back to being an unbaked version of themselves after passing through your fire. There's something about it that's like being cooked. Like they can't revert back to their old self because it no longer fits when they see your creativity or your creative energy. Well, once again, the three cards we have are Eight of Cups, Six of Wands, and Seven of Swords. Okay, maybe this is my personal bias, but I see the exact same thing that I just described in all three of these cards. Like, all of these are different representations of people walking away from something. Six of Cups is somebody walking away from something intentionally, emotionally. I feel like for some people, when they see you, because you heal that wound, they no longer need to hold on to it, or they don't need to let it have such a huge impact on their life. They can acknowledge it and move forward. With the Six of Wands, I see somebody taking what it is that you've created, they're celebrating it, they're showing it to other people, and they're like, wow, I have this too, or I'm like that person in a different sense. Maybe not in the same way that they create the same way that you do, but they have something that they share, something that they relate to you in their mind. And with that Seven of Swords, I feel like the people who don't fully believe you, they still notice you. They're still like, wait, maybe this person's onto something. And it will take some time and effort, but I actually do see them being won over, because they're holding a lot of swords, and in my understanding, this looks like a lot of thoughts, like preconceived notions about their ego, who they are themselves, that they're holding onto. But all of a sudden you appear and you're like, huh. They're like, wait a minute, we can do that? We're allowed to let it go? I see this as you opening up doorways for other people through your art, and somehow you again get recognition for this because of your impact on other people, the way that you help others. Maybe even if you don't see it directly yet, you're asked to keep fighting for this, or to keep going forward with this. Your impact is much larger than you think. So that's everything that I'm seeing for this reading. If you resonated with this reading, please leave me a like and a comment. I would love to hear about it. And if you're interested in getting a private reading from me, you can check the description box for my personal email. So until next time, take care. Bye-bye.